Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to the Sonic Adventure 2 Research Project bonus episode. Oh my god! But this isn't Sonic Adventure 2. Well, young Sally, you are correct. This is in fact Sonic Adventure DX for the Nintendo GameCube. And the reason we are playing that is because I got several requests from viewers saying like, well, you did all this stuff for Sonic Adventure 2, you gotta do it for Adventure 1, don't you know? And I was like, alright. So what we're gonna be doing here with Adventure 1 is, we're only gonna be doing trial runs, and the reason for that is, with Adventure 2, I can kind of predict, I can speculate reasonably what a worst case scenario new playthrough of the stage could look like. With Adventure 1, I don't really think that I can, within any reasonableness. So, because of that, what we're going to be doing, and this is going to be incorporated into the project, is we're going to basically be comparing the best case scenario run for an experienced player in Adventure 1 to a best case scenario playthrough for Adventure 2. So we're going to be comparing our trial mean from SA1 to our trial mean from SA2 to see, I don't know, I guess whether they're significantly different and by how much. So, yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're doing 5 runs of every stage, and I should disclose, as you'll be seeing in just a moment, that for some reason in Adventure 1, they basically force you... Yeah, a little surprise there. They basically force you, if you've already beaten the stage before, they force you to play the second and third missions for each stage before they'll just let you play the stage like normal again. That's true whether or not you try to access them through the trial mode or through the adventure mode, so... I don't know, I ended up doing the adventure mode because why not? Most of this game is spent in hub worlds anyway, so that's pretty representative. But yeah, 5 runs of each stage, we're going to be timing everything, and then at the end of each stage I will be giving you guys a trial mean and a trial standard deviation. And like, compared to some of the numbers we've got for Adventure 1, it's much more, let's say, consistent. But, yeah, so, I brought along yet another guest, as you guys have probably noticed, someone who loves this game more than life itself. Introduce yourself, kind sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan. I'm on the podcast with the Unversed cast, and I also have my own channel and do my own thing. Hi. How's it going?
Yes. Yeah. So Ryan here. I don't know. Do you still go by the Ryan Sucks at Video Games, or are you Ryrule now, or?
Well, I mean, my Twitter and this gameplay channel that I have, that's called Ryrule. You know, my main channel is still TheRyanSucksAtVideoGames. But when people are talking about me, I'm just Ryan. I keep it simple.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, yeah, but I think it goes without saying that these trial runs are not very long. I think the longest they ever get is like almost 3 minutes in the last stage we'll be playing.
Because it doesn't waste your time.
Well, we'll get into that in just a moment. But I guess where we could start out is, this is essentially the question I've been asking all of my guests. And I think, I don't know, I guess Alec prefers Adventure 1 as well, but I'm not sure about Jay. But what's your 2 cents overall on Adventure 2?
Adventure 2 as a whole, or just the treasure hunting stuff, or what?
Both.
Both. Okay, so as a whole, I think it is a great game, though I still prefer the way how the level designs were handled in Sonic Adventure, this version of Sonic Adventure. I prefer the control of Sonic Adventure than Sonic Adventure 2, even though, you know, I get it. You know, Sonic Adventure 2 is more focused, you know, has level designs that cater to the specific gameplays. It's not, you know, the levels aren't designed around multiple play styles, but to me, that just makes it more impressive how they were able to design these huge environments and multiple characters can go through them. That's just one of the reasons why I like them so much. But I think both games are great. I don't think there needs to be this huge debate as to, this is better, Sonic Adventure 2.
Just to quickly interrupt you, you guys might have noticed that this game is pretty glitchy, actually. This play style in particular.
Well, you're playing on Nintendo. right?
Yeah, I am playing it on Nintendo, but you know, I've played many games on Nintendo, and this is the only one where I've encountered anything like that. And I think I'd have to play it on the normal Wii mode, I guess, to really know for sure. But I don't know, this game was glitchier than I remembered it when I did these runs. But go on.
I mean, I just don't think there needs to be this huge hullabaloo over, oh, which is better? Is my game's better than yours? I think they're both great games. We're all gonna have our own preferences, and we should just, stop yelling at each other over it. It's video games. It's fun. They're both fun games. So, but
yeah,
if we're talking about Knuckles specifically, I do think that, if we're not counting Big the Cat, Knuckles is my least favorite gameplay style for Sonic Adventure. Again, not including Big the Cat. And Sonic Adventure 2, the treasure hunting treasure hunting levels are my least favorite. Again, not to say that they're bad. It's just it's not my cup of tea. I don't. Exploring these giant worlds for 3 MacGuffins, it doesn't do things for me. You know me, I'm not really huge on collectathons, so even though this is like not necessarily a collectathon, but it's still kind of like the same idea, the same beats and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. I guess if I'm gonna get into my main point for this whole hour-long part, because we do actually visit all 5 levels in one part, because
nice.
Since we're doing just 5 runs and these stages are like so unbelievably easy. My 2 cents on Knuckles stages in Sonic Adventure 1, they are definitely easier and more straightforward than the ones from the second game, but they have the mechanical depth of a kiddie pool. They are so freaking easy, and I really feel like that's the only reason people prefer them, is because if you don't care about Sonic Adventure, if Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are just games that you just do not care about, and you just are playing them because you feel like you have to, and you just want to get them over with as soon as possible, then yeah, this is going to appeal to you more, because the radar is so ridiculously strong, and the hints are so, like, this playstyle in this game just completely holds your hand. And let's not forget the fact that by the time you get to Knuckles, you'll have probably played through all of these stages at least once as Sonic or Tails or someone else. So you already kind of know the layout, and that on its own kind of helps make them easier too. And I don't know, it's just these, like Jay said in the Egg Quarters part, they're not unfun to play or anything, and I don't think they're bad. I enjoy these for the most part, but do I think it's a deep gameplay style that's like fully fleshed out? And like this to me just feels like, well, we built this level for Sonic and the game's only an hour long. What else can we do to pad this out? I know, we'll have Knuckles climb around in Speed Highway. It just there's not much to this really, besides it doesn't really grow or advance much in the 5 stages. I mean, I will say that I guess Red Mountain is probably my favorite of the 5, because it's the one that has, I think, the most exploration value and where the radar doesn't completely break everything.
I agree.
But even the later ones, like, I'll have quite a bit to say about Skydeck when we get to it, but in terms of Speed Highway, I guess for a first stage and just introducing you to this new playstyle, it's perfect for that. It's actually much smaller than I remembered it being, and it's if you take longer than a few minutes in the stage, you probably suck. So it's like
excuse me, that's my word.
Do you take longer than a few minutes, Ryan?
No, I'm saying that's my word.
Huh? Oh yeah,
the word suck.
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
Except it's only me. Only I can use that word. Gotta get that shit copyrighted. But no, I do agree with you that this isn't exactly fleshed out. And again, it's not focused, which is why I was saying, it's I totally get why people like
just real quick.
Oh yeah. I see the
our trial mean is 1 minute and 7 seconds, and our standard deviation is 21 seconds. So yeah. So one thing I should mention is that the second missions in each stage, the B missions, are basically beat the level without hints, but they're so easy without hints anyway that that's not even a challenge. But the C mission is actually a lot tougher for some of the stages. It basically requires you to beat the level in a minute. And so that means that each of these stages, you can, except for Lost World, which we'll get to, for the most part, you can beat them comfortably in 1 minute. In Skydeck, you get 2 minutes for the C mission. Yeah, that's me cutting out the B and C missions, because I did end up having to do those, and that might have biased the results, but again, we're trying to simulate an experienced player anyway, so little extra preparation don't hurt. But here we're showing off the hints, and it's literally just Tikal flies at the emerald, and you grab it, and that's it.
Well, it's from what I've played, or from what I remember, because it has been just a while since I played Sonic Adventure, she doesn't necessarily fly directly towards it, but she flies in the direction. Like, I don't think she flies all the way.
She just went through Sonic's left foot just now. And
yeah, she goes through walls.
Yeah, well, the emerald's in his left foot.
Oh.
Like, and by the way, whenever you break that statue, the camera completely fucks out, and you'll probably run off the ledge unless you're standing absolutely still.
I do have to admit, though, I do love that statue of Sonic.
Yeah, that is kind of cute. And you know what? This is another one of my favorite Knuckles levels, actually, because because when you're playing this as Sonic, you only see the bottom part, whereas with Knuckles, you get to climb up to the second part, and there's a pirate ship and a giant lion statue. This one feels like playing as Knuckles, you get something out of the stage that you didn't get out of with other characters. So
with Sonic or Tails, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Tails, like, you don't even get to go into the lobby, so.
Yeah. That's why I like the level design in this game, because, like, you do get to go to other areas in select levels that other characters can't go to. Like, you said that in the part that you did with Jay, because I watched that part today. Where it's like, oh yeah, you go to Twinkle Park with Amy, but you go inside the castle. I thought that was cool. Yeah. You know?
I was just kind of that. I think was probably that's one of the few examples where you really do get something especially new for a stage. Like I can agree with that. Like I think what I was really trying to say there was more like I feel like for the most part you don't get a lot of that from the other playthroughs, and. You know, it's great when Amy can get the castle part, even if her controls are so not great that I don't think she's an especially fun character to play as. At worst, she's inoffensive. At best, she's just kind of there. Hey, look, I just glitched through that.
Yeah.
And then I just glitched through the floor.
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
Like, I swear to God, I was not trying to make this game look. And then I just went through the floor again. I'm glad, because like I found plenty more glitches in those B and C missions that I ended up having to cut out, because with some of them it did take me a couple tries to beat it in a minute, even with my
goal. Stop making my favorite game look bad. Gosh.
I swear to God, I'm not trying to do that, because like that is not what I'm trying to do here, but that did happen to me while I was just recording this and playing it casually, and this isn't my first rodeo, folks. I've been playing this game for about as long, I think even longer than I've been playing Adventure 2, so.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it's something like, because like you said that when you played Mario 64 on the Wii Virtual Console, that you said that the controls were more sensitive than the N64 version, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I think, yeah, go on.
No, I was just saying maybe it's something like that. Well, since you're playing an emulator, maybe it's not coded as good. Or
it's not an emulator. It's a software bridge that basically hacks control of the GameCube parts that are built into the Wii.
So you're playing the actual disc, right?
Actually, no, because my disc copy of Adventure 1 is back in another state, and I just hit the ceiling. I swear, I don't remember this game being this glitchy. I made an entire thing in my Roar episode where I was talking about how I didn't think this was as glitchy as people said it is. But lo and behold, I pop it in just to grab a few runs of these stages, and glitches up the wazoo.
Maybe you should just play the Dreamcast version. The superior version.
You know, oh, you mean that thing that only runs at 30 frames per second and makes you watch all the terrible repeat cutscenes?
They're not terrible, they're beautiful, okay?
You know, whatever you say, Ryan, to each his own. I mean, they're not terrible, but the problem is that I can only watch Eggman take the emerald from the flickies so many times before it's just like, yeah, I know that happens. You don't need to show me every time, game. And by the way, whenever Knuckles finishes a stage, the camera will sometimes go through walls.
Yeah. That's even like in the original versions too, or the actual version of the game, like the GameCube and the fucking Dreamcast version.
Yeah, and some of you may be wondering, but Exio, why aren't you playing the better SADX patch of this game on PC? Well, the reason for that is my little crap top is not powerful enough to run this game at 60 FPS and in HD, so... And I don't know, I don't want to have to pay money for that port. I don't know, just that PC port was really lazy, and I think what it was is that port was originally part of like a 3-pack that included like some kind of fishing game.
Sega Bass Pro Fishing, Space Channel 5, and I think it was Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, it came with just like a package of ports for like the Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think literally what they did was they took that half-assed port that they threw in for the collection and just released it as a standalone game on other consoles. And yeah, it's about as lazy as that. So whoever made the better SADX port, like I have looked at it and it's in full 1080p, but the problem with that is that the in-game 2D graphics are still designed for standard definition. So when you up-res it to HD, then they're still the same size and they're teeny tiny. So I don't know why they couldn't put like a bilinear filter on it to stretch it to make it better for HD, but apparently that's not possible, or he didn't want to do it or something. I don't know. I'm not going to make any assumptions.
There was a sale on Steam not too long ago where it's like you can buy where all the Sonic games on Steam were like 70% off. It's like my computer can't play that shit either, but I bought like Lost World Generations, Sonic Adventure 2 and 1 for less than $20. Not each, but in total. So it's just like, what the fuck? Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This is just if my PCs were more powerful, then like I have a more powerful one back in Washington, but you know that one could probably run PC games just fine. But my little laptop is not going to do the trick. But anyways, our trial mean for Casinopolis, I think it's actually even easier than Speed Highway. But 55 minutes and 56 centiseconds at the standard deviation of 14 seconds. So very reliable. One thing I should mention is that each of these levels only has like 10 emerald locations, I think. And you compare that to Adventure 2, where there's like over 100 emerald locations that mix and match randomly. So it's like, if after you've played this more than a couple of times, you're going to keep finding emeralds in the same places that like way more often than you ever would in Adventure 2. So like after a while, the exploration value starts to wear itself thin. Like even within 5 playthroughs, I've probably seen everything. Whereas with Adventure 2, I could replay that game any day and still find something new, even like a decade and a half later.
But Exio, it was their first time. Cut them some slack. I don't buy that. I mean, I love this game, but I don't do that fucking. It was their first time, so therefore it's excused. I don't do that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like every time I come back to Adventure 1, like when I was a kid, I loved this game in particular. It was like a toss-up which of the two was better for me. And there is still something about it to this day. Like the way it makes me feel. Like this game has a very distinct game feel, if that makes any sense. And I'm not talking about like the glitches or anything like that. I'm just talking about like
the wow factor.
Not even that. It's more like the atmosphere of playing it. It just feels like that quintessential late 90s game to me. I don't know what it is. I think it's part of it's the music, part of it's the presentation. There's just like something about it. And you know, every time, like back when I played it on the Dreamcast for the first time, I was excited to. First of all, because what else are you going to play in Dreamcast after you spend money on one? And I was just like, oh boy, I can't wait to play this again. Then I pop it in. It's just like, and then just like I don't know what it is, but every time I play this game now, well, I still think there are parts that are really fun, like Sonic's playthrough in this game is still really strong stuff, even as their first attempt goes. And I still enjoy most of the playstyles for the most part, even this one. But every time I come back to it, it's something about it's just not the same for me anymore. And it's just, especially with how repetitive the story is and with how, like you can only keep playing the same levels over and over again so many times. Like, I do have to give this game credit for at least trying to do something different every time you revisit a level, but unlike Sonic Heroes. Yeah. But even so, it's still like this. I don't think I have the energy in me anymore to do a full playthrough of all 6 characters of this game anymore. As it just doesn't do what it used to do for me. I don't know.
See, I'll disagree with that, and I think I know what. Like you were talking about the atmosphere and everything like that. The game is very, very Sega, if that makes any sense. Like whenever I play it, like now as like an adult who has other Sega games under his belt, it's like I play it, I'm like, yeah, this is a Sega game. You know what I mean? Because like Nintendo, it's like what people were saying during the SNES and Genesis days, where it's like Nintendo was cleaner and everything like that, but the Sega was more pulpy, more crunchy, not necessarily gritty, but it was more 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This game is very 90s.
Yeah, and I
like
love
that soundtrack is like the most 90s thing I've ever heard in my life. But
and
except
wonderful.
for Sonic CD's soundtrack.
I don't know what the hell. I think Sonic CDs feels more like an 80s soundtrack to me, honestly.
You're right.
Like I get like 80s disco. Oh, what was that?
I guess I haven't really said much about Red Mountain.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This level is probably my favorite of the 5 because it feels the most like a treasure hunting level to me. Just in terms of it's a little bigger, so the radar on its own doesn't completely break the stage in 5 seconds. The hints are a little more useful because there are more places that you actually could find the emeralds. There's still only 10 emerald locations, and even the dig spots are surrounded by rings, which, I don't know, I guess makes it a little easier to find what you're digging for, but even in Adventure 2, the hints help you narrow down where everything is. But even, and you know what, this level's about as big as Pumpkin Hill, I'd say. Maybe a little smaller.
I would think a little smaller, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, slightly smaller, but even just kind of the way it's laid out reminds me a lot of Pumpkin Hill. In fact, you might notice that this is the second time in a row we found this emerald as the first one, and because I just played it the last time, like, the moment I saw the radar beeping, I knew that that's where it would be. And yeah, and so we followed that Tikal, and she ended up at the top of the mountain, and it's blinking, so it's gotta be up there.
Or is it?
No, it's definitely up here. Look in that ring of... Like, the thing about Tikal, though, is, like, as direct as she is, the draw distance in this game, like, obscures her sometimes. And we'll be seeing that when we play Lost World, which is the next stage, but it's just like, when I was doing my 5 runs of Lost World, like, I wanted to keep using Tikal because, my big talking point for this entire project has been use the hints. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't at least try to use Tikal in these stages. But in Lost World, she disappears and doesn't appear unless if you're like right on top of her.
You could say that she gets lost.
And she's getting lost in Lost World.
You ready?
I'm Hunted P and I'm rapping for Knuckles. Yeah. So, I don't know, I think this level I probably have the most fun playing, but even then, with only like 10 or 11 emerald locations, it doesn't take too long to get everything. It's like, I feel like the people who say that these are like so much better and so much more enjoyable have like only played them once casually during a normal playthrough. And then, the same people probably have no idea how to play the Adventure 2 ones. So they just assume that because it's easier, that makes it better. When, I don't know, I'm not sure about that.
I think I could safely say that these the Sonic Adventure 1 treasure hunting stages are a lot more accessible than Sonic Adventure 2's.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
And hang on, I had something going. And it's gone. Okay. But I was watching one of your parts. I believe it was
Watch the camera here. Oh, actually, it's in the probably in a later one. Go on.
I believe it was Meteor Herd where you were talking with Alec. And I don't know why, but like I had like an epiphany of like how they can kind of like get the best of both worlds from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2's treasure hunting stages if they ever want to do anything like this again.
Because I can really, you know what, I'm gonna be forefront and honest when I say that the treasure hunting stages in Adventure 2 might actually be my favorite playstyle in the game.
Oh wow.
It's like even just doing this. Yeah, I know, controversial opinion alert. Everybody go flame me on my web zone. Send me a pizza roll if you want to flame me on my web zone. But, you know, even just, they are by far the most replayable stages in the game. And, you know, I enjoy the Sonic stages a lot. Like, I've been going for all the A ranks recently. And, you know, I've been playing all those. And I really like mech shooting. I really like the action speed race stages. But there's something about the way Knuckles and Rouge control in that game and just how much variability and replayability there is with those stages that I just really like. So
see, I'm gonna be the weird one out and say that I like the way how Knuckles handles in this game more than Sonic Adventure 2. I like the fact that he's heavier, and I like the fact that he's slower. 'Cause, like, I think if I remember, you got your little red mountain
minute
scores.
and 6 seconds is the trial mean, and the standard deviation is 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Go on, Ryan.
Excuse me. What was I talking about?
You were talking about the control.
Oh yes, the control. Because like if I remember right, I believe someone hacked Sonic Adventure 2, and they were able to confirm that Knuckles and Rouge are faster than Sonic and Shadow. If I remember right, I could be wrong. But I like the way how Knuckles feels a lot heavier, how his glide has more of a drop to it. And I've seen you do it a couple of times where you're dropping and then you just stop and then you just fall. Like, I like doing that. Like when you go like super high up and then you just kind of like, you fall, then you go back to your glide. It just seems so seamless, but it feels like as if you're really doing it. It's also kind of like why I like Sonic 1's control more than like Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, because Sonic feels a lot heavier. So that way it makes it feel like as if the speed that you get is yours. You know, you got it. The game didn't just give it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's my 2 cents. I think part of it is that because I've been playing the SA2 on the PS3 with the DualShock analog sticks, like the sensitivity is so much higher, which just makes playing as Knuckles in that version, I think, a lot smoother. But even beyond that, what?
I'm saying, like, the controls of, like, the PS3 version is, like, it feels too loosey-goosey.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that at first, but after I played it more, like, then I came back to this with the GameCube sensitivity. It was just like, this isn't doing this for me. You know what I mean? It's, just a few words on Lost World. I think it's probably my least favorite stage in the game. The C mission in this level is hard as balls. It's not as hard as Tails' B mission in Mission Street in the second game. If you've tried to A-rank that son of a bitch, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, fucking god, some of those A-ranks in that game are brutal as hell. Like, there are only 99 rings in Mission Street, and they want you to get 100 rings as fast as possible, and that's the same stage where those fucking planes drop the bombs on you out of nowhere. That was like probably the hardest A rank I've gotten so far. But still, the C mission in this level is very difficult because you still only get 1 minute to find all 3, and even with the more sensitive radar that could pick up all 3 at once, that's easier said than done. It took me quite a few tries to get it. And one thing I found out is that you can actually cheat the game. If you restart then it will take you back to the point where you grabbed your last emerald, and it will reset the clock back to that point as well. So, so like if it takes you too long to find that, because like when you reset, unlike Sonic Adventure 2, it doesn't change the emerald location. So if you can basically just figure out where it is, restart the game, sacrifice a life, then just go grab it faster. So you can completely cheat those sea missions in this game. But, you know, even with that, like, it took me... It was much harder to beating this stage in 1 minute than you'd think, but...
I
even
don't
besides
remember
that,
if I did it or not.
Go on.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, I don't remember if this is something that I did. Because I know I've done all the missions for Sonic, Tails, and I believe Amy as well. Because, you know, Amy's only, like, 3 levels. You might as well. I know I did a couple for Knuckles. I just don't remember if I did it for this level or not. I have to go back and check. I was just thinking out loud. Sorry about that.
But I think what it is that I hate about this level is that sometimes Knuckles won't grab the wall in this stage. Like, I know it's been shown up at least a couple times at this point, where, like, you'll fly, like that platform where we just found the first emerald. There's like a platform with like a little alcove with boxes in front of it where the emerald will sometimes appear, and then above that there's a red Orbinaut with fire. Like, several times, yeah, I just glitched through a platform.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's just the end screen, so it doesn't matter too much, but still.
Let's rag on it for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Has it been 10 minutes yet, Dan?
Dan!
I'm gonna be
the
loud!
fuck out of the screen!
Jump and shoot, man! Now excuse me while I break this loop-de-loop on purpose and break the game and blame it on the game.
Oh, but Exo,
you know you guys will watch it anyway.
He didn't practice the thingy. I'm Retropolis Zone from Quickies Don't Got It.
You know, that's pretty close to
more
it.
Italian.
Yeah, but he tried to do the voice and ended up being Italian too. That's going to be Wednesday's part. He did actually try to do the Exo Retropolis Zone voice.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Also,
yeah, so,
if he's watching, hi.
Yeah, so you might have noticed that that's like the first time I've used Tikal on the stage, and it's not because I've been trying to ignore her, it's just that I can never remember where the fuck she is. You saw that? How she just sort of popped up out of nowhere just now?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the draw distance in this level, I guess, is really bad, because you'll see that sometimes the boxes will just pop up as you get close to them. Because, like, this is, like, the only level, I think, where there aren't, like, walls or anything, so you can see farther, and because of that, it portrays the draw distance. But, like, you could see that the emerald there popped up, and then the boxes popped up over the emerald just now. So, in this giant box, essentially, you know, Tikal will only show up, and won't show up unless if you're basically right on top of her. And because of that, I can't see her from a distance, and I hadn't exactly memorized her locations. So Tikal is very helpful in this level, but it's difficult to remember where the hell to find her. So
right.
But yeah, so I don't know. The sooner you can memorize where she is, the faster you'll beat these levels. But
now, you know, like I said, I have been watching these. I've been watching these videos, and you know, hearing you go in depth about the levels in Sonic Adventure 2, I will admit, it does make me appreciate them a bit more. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, that does make sense. Like the way how they intentionally, quote unquote, gimped the radar, or you know, how the hints work and how the levels are structured and everything like that. I do have an appreciation for the mindset that they were having, but I still think that they could find like a really good middle ground between the two. I think like it's as easy as a difficulty option. Like you can do the easy mode, you know, you can get like the Sonic Adventure 2 levels, right? Let's say you do like the easy or the normal mode, you get the Sonic Adventure 1 radar, right? But then you get the and maybe you get like the Tikal styled hints where it points you in the direction. But then you can do the hard mode, which is the Sonic Adventure 2 radar, the Sonic Adventure 2 hints, you know, stuff like that, but with all the Sonic Adventure 2 level design. Like, if they would ever bring this kind of gameplay style back...
They bring back the Sonic Adventure 2 style level design, where everything's focused around Knuckles' abilities, but you'd have the option to play the game on various difficulties, where the hints would be much more direct, and would be more like this game.
Ooh, you just died. But yeah pretty much.
Oh,
but it's like... Oh.
Fuck.
Oh, okay.
I may have... Hold on, let me check. Oh, God. I hope I included that in the time, because otherwise all my final scores will be off.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh shit. Well, it was only like about a few seconds, so I'll make sure to update those numbers before this video gets posted, but yeah, that if I didn't remember to fix, like, I could have swore I went through all of these with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that I didn't miss something, but I don't know, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, like, I'm open to a compromise solution. I just don't want them to go back to this for if there ever is a third game, because this is way too simple for my taste. You know, like, they can have an easy mode. I'd be totally cool with that. That's a good compromise. But I need the bigger level design. I need to at least have that opportunity to have something a little more indirect in terms of hints. You know, like, there can be a compromise, I think, along the lines yours. Wait, yeah, it didn't show me. Did I put up the? No.
This is
all the times are wrong.
Oh no.
Oh, correct. Well, at least for the final ones, but it shouldn't be off by much. It should be.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be sure to fix that when the final video comes out, and I don't know, dub over it.
You're only human, Michael. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Except for Ryan Bay. Yeah, but I don't know, I guess on that note, what is your usual strategy for Adventure 2 levels?
Freeball it. I use the hints, I don't give a fuck. I don't give two shits about my rank. I use the hints, I'll use all the hints. If I get a fucking E rank because of it, I don't care, because I am not 100% completing Sonic Adventure 2. I like that game a lot, I ain't completing it 100%, I'm sorry.
You know, yeah.
I don't got the patience for that.
It's like because really, I think in terms of A ranking any of the missions in Sonic Adventure 2, I think the treasure hunting levels are the easiest by far. Because, like, when you play, like, fucking Pyramid Cave for Sonic and try to get the A rank in that stage, it is brutal how fast you have to be. Well, Metal Harbor, I actually, like, once you sort of get the muscle memory for that last silo part, it'll never be a trouble again. The problem with Pyramid Cave is that you have to jump through those hoops in the hallway, and then there's that one section where you have to go grab that thing to activate the switch and backtrack with it, and then there's that one section where you have to flip over the hourglass so that you can run through that hallway with all the ghosties, but there are hoops in that hallway too, and if you don't jump through enough of those correctly to get those bonus points, you're not getting that A rank, and you gotta be lickety split fast. You can't dilly dally.
Don't forget about the kart racing. Don't touch the walls.
That, you know, that took me a few tries, but it helps to have, like, someone else's review in the background. Like, I was basically listening to Alec and Jay's. Yeah, those numbers are wrong anyway, so I'll fix them in post. And wrong. No, I'll put them in right here. Yeah, so those were our numbers, folks. So now we are heading to the final stage in Knuckles' mode, which is Skydeck, which is... I know, did I just say that Lost World was my least favorite?
Yeah.
I don't know
this
about
is my
that.
least favorite.
Yeah, Skydeck is... It feels like the worst gimmicks in the SA2 stages, like, all had a baby. And it was Skydeck. I don't know, we'll get more of that when we get to the stage, but I don't know.
I think I'll be honest, though. I think I would rather play something like Skydeck more than any of, let's say, Rouge's levels, for example. Because with Knuckles in Sonic Adventure 2, I find that his levels are more straightforward. Like, it's just like, okay, here's an area, explore, and find the Master Emeralds or the keys or whatever. I find that Rouge always has something weird about it. It's like, oh, you gotta ride this turtle to get from one place to another. Oh, here's a giant beetle that'll shoot lasers at you. Oh, played Mario Galaxy? You'll love this one. You know, it's always something with Rouge. And it just, it bogs down the experience for me. Like, it makes it so hard for me to play through the Dark Side story. Like, I can play through Knuckles just fine in Sonic Adventure 1. To an extent, Sonic Adventure 2 as well. But that's also because, again, Knuckles in this game is much more straightforward. It's like, yeah, maybe they're not as in-depth or as well thought out as Sonic Adventure 2, but I'd rather spend 5 minutes in Skydeck than 15 or more minutes in Mad Space, for example.
Well, the only way you're going to be spending 15 minutes in Mad Space is if you're not using hints. But before we continue this conversation,
sure.
The thing that really sucks about Skydeck is that lever. And it's not even like the gimmick itself is bad or anything. It's more like just trying to grab it is a project on its own. I don't know why.
You have to press the B button and then move your analog stick around. It's really weird and gimmicky.
And it's just like if you don't grab it from the precise correct angle, then it doesn't register. And like because of Knuckles' heavier control in this game, if you tilt the level even slightly, then his descent gets so rapid.
Yeah.
In the stage that's like not even funny, but like let's see,
like right there.
Yeah. So we're trying to grab the lever, and yeah, looks like I got it. And no, I'm at the diagonal, so I gotta move over. But oh no, that's not good enough. Gotta keep jiggling around. God.
I saw it, by the way. You have to climb up.
So
left.
Are you a little ahead of me?
No.
I think so, yeah. Let me just skip ahead just a little bit.
Well, I'm on 41, 44. That happened a couple of times in your other play, and I know that's like what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to, you know, intentionally, that's the right word, like avoid them, but it was still driving me nuts. I'm like, it's right there! You ran past it, you nincompoop! Go back!
Yeah, it makes me wonder what it is that new players are doing when they're playing the Knuckles and Rouge stages that they could possibly take so long in them. Because like you might be able to say that the way I've defined newbie runs is like the maximum possible amount of time you could spend in those stages that could be attributed to the game. And it's just like if it takes you 27 minutes to beat Aquatic Mine or something like that, then I'm sorry, but it's your fault. You're doing something wrong. And that's what drives me nuts about this whole thing, is that, oh, they changed the radar, ruined forever. It's all the game's fault that I'm taking this long. But most people, they're not using hints, they're not paying attention to the Omo Chow tutorials, and they're just trying to play the stages like Adventure 1, but you cannot play the SA2 stages like SA1s. They're just not designed the same. They were designed around hints.
I had no idea about the Omo Chow tutorials until you brought them up. I was just like...
I just mean even just like the Omo Chows that are just lying around in stages.
Because I thought you were talking about the tutorial videos in the actual
certainly
game.
Those help, but, you know, if I'm being honest, when I was a kid, I didn't watch those either. Or maybe I did and I don't remember, but... like, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a double bind because, you know, nowadays especially, people complain about even the slightest tutorialization in games. Like if it's anything slightly more than what's necessary, like in the new Ratchet and Clank, for example, Quark is like the narrator for the game, and like every time you get like a new weapon or something, he'll be like, and Ratchet remembered that he had to press the circle button to fire his gun. And, you know, people reviewing the game are just like, why can't they let me figure it out for myself? Yada yada yada. And then you play Sonic Adventure 2, where they have this very compromising approach to the whole thing, where like, yes, there are tutorials, yes, there are Omo Chows in the stage, but for the most part, it's all optional and you can choose to skip it if you're playing the game again. But the offside to that is that if someone happens to not watch the tutorial that basically says, you need to use hints to beat these stages, and they're missing it because it's optional, then, you know, that's a whole different problem on its own. So it's like, I'm not sure what else they could have done to really have helped people understand how these were meant to be played.
They could have made it just Sonic. only Sonic, because he's the only good character in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Herper skirper derp.
Yeah, there's an emerald up there. I don't know, I guess the bigger problem with trying to get, like, the, like, I actually didn't know that you got 2 minutes for the sea mission in this stage when I was playing it. So I was just like, holy shit, how am I going to beat this in a minute? The best tactic I can recommend for beating this level as fast as possible is to push the lever so that the part of the stage you're on tilts upward, so that those doors near the start of the stage open and everything's falling out. I need to fix that in post. You guys didn't see anything, but
I saw everything.
Like, you'll watch me, I'm going to push it that way so that this part of the stage tilts upwards. Now the door will open, because almost always there will be at least one emerald in this area. So that's a good way to get a head start and shave off some time, but then after that, you have to basically turn the level to one of the sides. And which one should you do? Well, it's kind of a 50-50 split. You just kind of have to pick one and hope that it'll get you the result you need. Because it's like, you can either tilt it up front so that whatever it is that you're looking for, 50% chance you'll be able to get it. Or you can leave it as is and walk all the way over there just to discover that you can't get it yet and that you need to go back and tilt it a specific way. So it's like a catch-22. So, I don't know, I recommend, like, worst case scenario, you end up having to backtrack. In best case scenario, you happen to get it just by sheer luck. So, yeah, this one I think is the one where I die. I guess we'll find out, but there was one where it, like, took me forever because there's, you know the part in Sonic's playthrough of the stage where you're, like, running down those staircases towards that switch that fixes... So, like, though, there is an emerald hidden where those two staircases cross over each other. At the top of the stage, essentially. And, yeah, see, actually, yeah, it is up there. Or, it's either up on that platform, and I'm thinking of, like, a later trial run, or it's up on the crisscrossy stair thing. But for whatever reason, it took me quite a long time to find it. This is one of the few cases where I ever got stumped looking for an emerald in SA1. So, make of that what you will. So now I've got to figure out how to find it.
It's because you suck.
Well, I could say that about 90% of the people who complain about SA2 stages, but including a certain popular reviewer that made this whole mess possible. So
hey, don't insult me like that.
Oh boy.
I'm taking my 800 subs and leaving. Bye-bye.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, it is in there. Holy shit.
So what you gotta do is, I end up grabbing that side wall and it works, because for some reason you're not allowed to climb that platform.
Sorry, you're in the the floor. I love it.
Yeah, that's SA1 for you.
Good enough.
See, but I've never had that happen to me, though.
I know, I haven't had this happen to me. This is just as much a surprise for me as it is for you. And it's just like, none of those glitches are very consequential, really.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so, like, I could excuse it. I'm not like a certain animator turned Let's Player who for some reason everybody eats his content up. So I'm not gonna make a huge deal out of it, but, you know, still, it's there. This game is not as technically polished as it could have been.
Yeah, you know, at least these glitches are minor, and it's not like you're fighting Bowser and then you just fall through the floor, or you get stuck on a thing when you're riding a squid. You know?
Oh, you died. This is the one where I die like 5 times, and it fucking pissed me off!
Well, yeah, this is like the worst level as any character.
Yeah, like, I remember Knuckles' Sky Deck being, like, at least alright, but, like, coming back to this and realizing... It's like, that fucking switch is such a terrible gimmick. Like, just the fact that you never quite know what direction it needs to be for, like, later parts of the stage, and just the fact that even just trying to move it is such a hassle for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, not a fan of the Switch. Like, I'll take the Turtle and Dry Lagoon, or...
You don't like the Nintendo Switch? Michael, what is wrong with you, you Nintendo hater?
Yeah, I'm not a Nintendo drone like Alonzo, who owns a Switch for some reason. This is the same person who gave me shit for owning a Wii U for years. And yet
he's the one who likes Fire Emblem a lot, right?
Yes, that's him. That's him. And he always during the Game Mavericks playthrough, he was just like, "Oh gee, Michael didn't know something about SA2. Imagine that." Well, we'll see who's laughing when I get Green Hill Zone before you do, motherfucker. That's right.
Oh, you opened up a big can of worms right there. Should we talk about Green Hill Zone and Sonic Forces? It's a little random. But I figure it's like, oh shit, that's right, Green Hill Zone's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like Storm Hill Zone or something technically, but it's when I saw the footage, I thought it was the Sonic Generations level.
Really? Because I saw a lot of people say that it looked nothing like Generations. That Generations looked a lot better.
No, I thought I was watching Generations footage.
I thought it looked kind of like Lost World. Like it had like the same kind of color
trees, palette. I guess. I know. I liked Sonic Lost World's art style, so I'd be cool with that. You and I are like the only ones for some reason.
I know. Lost World gets way too much hate for everything. It's a beautiful game.
That is my favorite looking Sonic game by far. Like just the 60 FPS in that game makes a huge difference. Like just the jumping animation for Sonic looks so fluid.
Yes.
And fucking cartoony. I love it.
It's so squishy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You know, Sonic Forces, if you look at the 3D modern Sonic footage, like he has that kind of jump too. Like when he's doing the homing attack, it like he squishes. I
think just the look of it is the classic Sonic in 3D. And I really liked the way those environments looked, and I liked that there's like this kind of matte sort of texture they use in the robot paint that I really enjoy as well, where it sort of looks like that marbly kind of color you get from like a new Porsche or something.
Right. It's like it's glossy and shiny.
Yeah,
but not like Sonic 4 like plastic grass, but it's just like it's polish. It looks nice.
It looks like a nice paint job in a car, and I really like that texture.
You know, I never heard anyone describe it like that. That is like dead on.
Yeah.
Especially the water. The water is just like, like when it gushes out from the fucking ground in the tropical whatever it's called. Like it just that looks so. Love it. I love that game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lost World. I don't know. Casual playthroughs are fun, at least. A lot of fun.
Well, yeah, I guess. But then again, all my playthroughs of like every game is a casual playthrough. So unless it's like Majora's Mask or Golden Sun, then I 100% I complete that game to full completion, no problem. Without a sweat.
But Exo, why would you want to get all 120 shines in Super Mario Sunshine? It's not worth it.
Also, just for the record, I've never seen a emerald on top of that thing right there.
Yeah, I guess it has to be so that one I remember to add in the death. Not the other one.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Well, hey there, Luigi.
Oh, hey there.
That's what you sounded like. You sounded like fucking Mario from the CDI games.
Look, it's from Bowser. Dear pesky plumbers, the Koopalings and I have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. The princess is now a permanent guest in one of my 7 Koopa hotels. I dare you to find her if you can. We gotta find the princess, and you've gotta help us. If you need instructions on how to get through the hotels, check out the enclosed instruction book.
Okay, that Mario is dead on, but I don't know what the fuck that Luigi was.
Fuck you!
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm having too much fun over here.
Yeah. You and I need to resurrect your Super Mario Galaxy stream.
I mean, at the date of risking, at the date of risking this video, duh. I actually am planning on
play
doing
some
one like
Smig
either
2.
tonight or tomorrow. If you wanted to jump in.
Oh my god!
You barely got hit by that fucking thing. Like, you barely missed it.
Well, you missed it earlier. Like, I was jumping towards it, and then suddenly I flew off to the side really fast somehow.
I think it was because an item hit you.
Maybe, I don't know. So those numbers should be accurate. Trial mean is 2 minutes and 21 seconds with a standard deviation of 1 minute and 6 seconds. This is the only stage in the game with a standard deviation that's over a minute. Compare that to some of the levels in SA2, and I don't know, those numbers aren't correct. I have to fix them, but it shouldn't be too far off from that. About 1 minute and 20 seconds is the average, and with about 40 seconds plus or minus on top of that. So yeah, that is Knuckles' stages from Sonic Adventure 1. As you can see, much smaller and more straightforward than Adventure 2, but like I said earlier, they have about as much depth as a kiddie pool. So it's just like, which would you rather play? Something that's inoffensive at worst, but, you know, not especially interesting to replay, or something that can have something of a learning curve, but is very rewarding if you learn to play it properly? I'm going to say the latter, but, you know, certainly not everyone will think that way.
If I can give, like, my own 2 cents and, like, my own analogy of it, I guess.
Go ahead.
You know, because I like my games to be short, sweet, you know, because that's just what I do, you know, so I can jump into the next one, and it also makes for playing the game a lot easier. Like, I've played through Golden Sun, like, fucking as billion zillion times, and it's, every time it's 100% completion. But
in that regard, I think SA2 is definitely the easier one to replay, just in general, just because you don't have to go through 6 different stories and everything's just kind of streamlined together.
Well, I'm comparing this more towards Knuckles and Rouge's levels in Sonic Adventure 2, as opposed to Knuckles' levels in Sonic Adventure 1. Golden Sun is like it isn't the most in-depth or complicated RPG out there, but it's a very solid one. It's easy to pick up and play. It's accessible, and you know, to me, it gets better every time I play through it. And now another RPG I've been playing through recently is Persona 5, which is well over 100 hours just for its story, and it's very complicated, very in-depth. And I don't see myself ever playing through that game multiple times like how I do with Golden Sun or something a lot simpler. So for me, it's like, if you can get your game to be simple, but yet not too simple, like, let's say, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but like maybe something like New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii U or something like that, then I can get down with it, you know? But the way how I see it, like, as a whole, like, Knuckles is more just like a small part of something bigger in Sonic Adventure 2. So it's like kind of like what you said, it's inoffensive, but I don't think it's inoffensive at best. I still think it's really solid, and I think that they did an excellent job of getting the way how Knuckles played, the way how he felt, the way how he handled in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I think they did a great job of translating that into 3D. And to me, it's like this is the best that he has played, gameplay-wise, control-wise. Maybe not mechanically, like in level design or anything like that, but when I play as Knuckles in Sonic Adventure, I feel like as if I'm playing as Knuckles. Sonic Adventure 2, it just feels like it feels like Sonic, but with a glide. That makes any sense.
I know, I guess I kind of see it, but really, when it comes down to it, that fluid, precise control just makes all the difference in the world to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I want to drop really fast, they have a dive in Adventure 2 that's not in the first game that I think does the job just fine for dropping quickly. So I don't know. I much prefer the controls in the second game.
But that's the beauty of it, you know. It's like you're not wrong, I'm not wrong, and it's just like, you know, we all have our preferences. And it's like what I said earlier, we should stop fighting about what's better and just enjoy what we enjoy to the extent that we enjoy them with, and not try to put down other people for enjoying something that we don't get much enjoyment out of. That's just the way how I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like in an ideal world where none of this was happening and I could be free to enjoy SA2 without having to constantly compare games and everything like that, that'd be nice. But, you know, the problem is that a lot of people use SA1 as kind of a way to make the second game look worse than it is, I guess. That's how I see it. So it's like, I can't. It makes it harder to enjoy both games because of it. Because whenever I'm playing SA1, I'm just like, oh, here's something that isn't as good as it is in the second game, or vice versa. And whenever I'm playing the second game, all I can think about is what everybody else is saying about the game now, because that's just how controversial it's become in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Certainly.
For me, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like, I don't care what people say about Sonic Adventure 1. People can compare Sonic Adventure 1 to Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, or whatever. It's not going to affect my enjoyment of the game at all. It's not going to make me say, well, see, this is clearly better than some or other. It's like, no, I like this game. Nothing, doesn't matter what anybody says. It does not matter what anyone tells me. I'm going to enjoy the game to my fullest. It's just, I have fun playing it. I have fun playing Sonic Adventure 2. And I'm not going to let other people's opinions change mine or make me feel bitter towards another game, And I'm not saying, how dare you, Michael, for doing that. Shame on you. You like your games for your own reasons, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying it's like, that doesn't matter to me. I don't care what people think. I have fun with my games. I enjoy them to the fullest extent that I possibly can. I ain't gonna let people change that about it. It's video games. It's fun. It's meant to be enjoyed. So I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you are a better man than most of us are, Ryan. Clearly, your strength of character outshines us all.
Unless it's like fucking Mario 64, then that game can just be beaten down to the ground. Fuck that game. It sucks.
Yeah. But the DS version's at least better, right, Ryan?
It's playable. I've gotten more stars in that game than the original, I'll say that much. But I won't delve into that.
Okay. I don't know, I guess the only other thing I have to ask is, have you had a chance to, try out any of the techniques I've shown off in this whole giant project?
Not yet, but, and it's a big but, I do have plans on doing a 3D Sonic retrospective or a 3D Sonic marathon on my channel, which means I will have to go back to Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And if or when I ever get around to it, I will definitely be looking back at these videos as a source or something to fall back on and to bring up in the videos that I may or may not do. To try them out, record footage of it, see if you're full of shit.
Well, I know they worked for Jay at least, so it's and some of the commenters too. So,
but I always play using the hints, so it's like I use every hint imaginable. I don't care about my rank, so it's just like I don't mean to bring down the videos or anything like that. It's like I don't see my playthroughs being too much different, than how you would normally play them. Because again, I use all the hints. That's just how I do it.
Yep. Oh, good man. You're one of the few rational folks when it comes to this sort of thing. Because most people are just like, why would I want to use hints? They don't work.
If I'm rational, then there's something wrong with the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So, where can folks find you, Ryan?
In the garbage can. Oh wait, no, someone already made that joke. Fuck. You can find me on the Unversecast with this lovely gentleman right here, with Dan, who is on this little series, and also Haydox. I believe he's going to be on one of these, right?
He was supposed to be on the 8 quarters part, but he was out of town and he didn't know when he'd be back. Gotcha. So,
I do have a really shitty gameplay channel called Rule. I'm not very active on it, so viewer discretion is advised. But where all my attention and all my heart and soul goes to is TheRyanSucksAtVideoGames, where I post. I try to keep it consistent about GameCube games, but I sometimes deter from that and make other weird, shitty videos about Sonic. So, if that sounds like your cup of tea, well, I hope to see you on the channel soon, and I hope I can entertain you in the future.
Yep. Alright, so that was the bonus episode for the Sonic Adventure 2 research project. Obviously, I think I would have already done the Rouge analysis at this point. So all that's left is the final results video, and I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with that, because I think I found out much more than I set out to find just over the course of doing all of this, uploading all of this content. And I think it's probably going to end up being more like a review or an editorial that just happens to feature my final data results and stuff as well. So
would you plan on scripting it?
Yeah, it's probably going to be scripted.
Nice.
So that, I think I'm going to call it Mikey Aquamagna's final word on Sonic Adventure 2 or something like that. Who
that's good.
knows? Sonic Adventure 2 is the most disappointing thing since my son's court-appointed lawyer. Yeah. So that'll be next.
Sonic Adventure 2 is the most disappointing thing since Sonic Adventure 1. What kind of adventure is that?
Fuck you. But yeah, that'll be next. Thank you all for watching this hour-long monstrosity. And go check out Ryan. He's a cool guy. He deserves more than he's gotten, in my opinion.
Oh, shush.
But yeah, so I hope you all guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for the finale of this son of a bitch.
Bye-bye.